More often than not, a band is defined by the band members who are in said band. There are bands both new and old who have a group of people that very much defines what makes their style and sound such a unique one. This list is for the bands who aren't quite so good at holding on to those certain band members, whether it's due to egos clashing, personal problems, or much darker circumstances. This is my example of 10 bands with inconsistent lineups. So, let's do this thing. Number 10, Rise Against. I'm putting Rise Against at number 10 for a few reasons. First of all, they're one of my favourite bands. Secondly, they've had the same lineup now since 2007, so it wouldn't really be fair to put them higher anyway. And third of all, the main reason why I'm putting them on the list at all is because of the curse that plagued them for roughly the first decade of their career. Cleverly dubbed the Rise Against curse, originality and all that. The reason that exists is because after each album that the band released at the time, the lead guitarist would almost always leave. Besides that, the only other change that they've had with terms of band members is their original drummer Tony Tintari, which is a fun name to say, being replaced by Brandon Barnes, which is also fun to say. Must be the illustration of it. But yeah, that's where these guys are at number 10. They haven't had too many notable changes, but they did have that curse plaguing them, so I felt like it made sense. Number 9, Ice 9 Kills. I swear that wasn't there for the joke. This is a similar case to Rise Against though. For the most part, Ice 9 Kills is known for having a signature lineup, and for a good while they kept that lineup going strong. But then 2018 happened to them. Now, they still kept some of their members, but around the release of their fifth album, The Silver Scream, their state after that has been sort of an odd one, with even longtime guitarist Justin DeBleek either leaving the band or just taking a long hiatus because he's sick. But still, that makes lead singer Spencer Charnas the last official remaining founding member now. Still, considering the new lineup that they do have, I won't be complaining. I'm actually looking forward to seeing what they put out. Number 8, Project 86, once again, wasn't for the joke. A theme that you'll most likely notice throughout the first half of this list is the fact that most of these bands are honestly some of my favourites, with some others coming really soon. That doesn't change the fact that Project 86 has never been able to keep a stable core group. Hell, even in 2017, they decided to just be a trio as opposed to the usual quartet lineup, with their guitarist also playing bass. A lot of people have come and gone from Project 86, but it doesn't matter what happens to the band. They continue to persevere and make great music, which literally everybody should be listening to. But that doesn't mean they managed to hold on for many people for too long. I think that's one of the biggest arrows in their knee, shall we say. But I'll give them a pass. Number 7, Counterparts. And speaking of bands that more people should be listening to, these guys. It's no secret that they've always been good, but they do switch people around a lot between albums, so it's difficult to keep track of them. The only member still with them is lead singer Brendan Murphy, but these guys are on here because they've reused previous members a lot, most notable of which are guitarists Alex Ray and Blake Hartman, as well as drummer Carl Brownlee, who've both played with the band on 3 separate lineups, including their current one. It's just all types of confusing, but once again I'm willing to give them a pass because all their albums are great, especially Nothing Left to Love, which came out last week. Listen to that. It is sort of a promotion thing, but yeah, Counterparts are on this list for a good reason with their lineup too. Number 6, Let Live. Yep, I'm including bands that are broken up. Deal with it. Again, this is an example of me grasping at straws, and again, the only permanent member was lead singer Jason Butler, now known as the frontman of Fever 333. Even though they kept most of the same members towards the back end of their career, it still wasn't fully concrete. Between their second album, Fake History, and their last album, If I'm the Devil, they had so many members come and go, be they touring or permanent, and this was something that even plagued the start of Let Live, but considering how great their music is, I'm willing to forgive it for the most part, and hell, they went out on a great note, but still, things and stuff, and drama, I'm assuming. It happens. Number 5, Burn Halo. Burn Halo may be one of the less familiar names on this list besides Project 86, and I can see why. They haven't released any new music in 4 years as of writing this, and they're usually pretty quiet on the social media front. I can only assume this because they can't keep enough people around for any good stretch of time. Hell, their lead singer James Hart even went back to his old band 2 years ago, which leaves none of the original founding members in the band. They've gone through tons of bassists, guitarists, and drummers, with their current lineup only stabilizing in 2016. Hopefully we get some new music with the current lineup sooner rather than later, but I really wouldn't hold my hopes up. Number 4, Your Demise. What a sadly apt name for this band. I was never as into these guys as I was previous bands on this list, and my only album by them was The Golden Age, their last album before they broke up. I think that came out in 2012. Yeah. But these guys may hold the record on this list as they have had 4 different vocalists at different points. Fucking 4! A third of those was originally one of the band's guitarists, too. These guys were known for having a divided fanbase because of how many people there had been, and I can only assume that's part of why they're not around anymore, but still. 4 different vocalists. Man, that just hurts my head. Number 3, Streetlight Manifesto. Of all the bands on this list, Streetlight Manifesto have the most members in their current lineup with a total of 7, and the only member still with the band from the start is lead singer and guitarist Thomas Kalnoky, aka Tokay. To be fair, these guys haven't had it as badly as most other bands on this list, but the fact remains that in a band with 7 instruments, there have been almost as many people currently in their band as there have been people who've left, and that includes a former member who toured with them back in 2015. Also, side note, I really hope we get a new Streetlight Manifesto album soon. It's been 6.5 years. Please put something out. You've sorted the deal out with Victory Records. Do some new music. I'm begging you. Number 2, Real Big Fish. Oh god, I thought that Your Demise had problems with its lineup. And another theme for this list, the only original founding member still with the band is lead singer and guitarist Aaron Barrett, who plays keyboards too. That doesn't change the fact that in the band's history, there is a grand total of 18 former members now. I think that's why it takes these guys so long to make new albums sometimes. They've had their current lineup since 2014, and they released a pretty good new album late last year, so there's not really a lot I can fault. I damn these guys for being so likable, but yeah, it's weird to think that all of them could be likable considering how many people have been in the band. Just weird. And number 1, Falling in Reverse. Now, I would love to tell you that this whole list was a troll, especially as I've liked most bands up until this point, and as people know, I'm not the biggest Falling in Reverse fan. The trouble with these guys is that it really just feels like the Ronnie Radke show plus some friends. Hell, of the original 5-member lineup, only 2 of them got to play anything on their debut album, and those 2 weren't even credited. And this didn't get better over time, and somehow it's gotten even worse, even to the point of their most recent lineup switching instruments completely, as well as having, and I shit you not, 6 drummers, 6, over the last year, 5 of which were touring, and 2 of those were with the band twice. Why? Why, Ronnie? Why, Ronnie Radke, can you not get your shit together? Why is Paige dating you? My head hurts just thinking about this. Fuck Falling in Reverse and all they stand for. Just, I can't have that. I can't have that on my conscience. I'm not going to deal with it. No. Anyway, that'll about do it for this list, and at some point next week, the first of my best albums of previous year's lists will be up and ready. Well, that's the hope. Obviously, it's going to be 2011, then 2012, then 2013, then 2015. Hopefully, I'll get them all done in time for my big plan for the 2019 best of the year list, because I've got something special planned for that, and you're going to like it. And so the next thing you'll expect from me is either a Fight of the Night review this weekend, if there is one to talk about, a new PPW on Monday, and yeah, just the usual stuff really, and then like a new top 10 list after the PPW episode. So I'll see you all for that noise. And as always, thank you for watching. You're awesome. Bye bye. Also,